going to do both of these thoughts in one video. The first thought, I'm going to start on a positive note. It's not going to sound positive, but it is that I just discovered Pharaoh said that, and Pharaoh said that scared the mess out of me, because what he's saying is the truth. I just never heard anybody put it quite that way. And he really paints a bleak picture of Chicago, particularly in the video where he's talking about how he doesn't get old. Because I know that's one of my fears, and that's probably one of the things that still drives me to do martial arts, is I'm thinking about when I get old. Because it seems like people are getting more and more aggressive. And like I might be 70 years old and some juvenile might try to step to me. Instead of giving me proper deference as an elder, if I either dare to say anything to him to correct him, or he or she is just hallucinating that I said something to them. Or like that guy that got shot because because Joy Lane's ex-boyfriend just felt like killing somebody. It just confirms my fears that, it's possible that I might have to soldier up until I can just barely move. And if you ever look at Colin Flaherty's channel, you see the incidences of elderly people being attacked by adolescents. So it don't make no sense. But I like Pharaoh said that, and I'm going to be checking out a lot more of his stuff, because I like how he's still, to me, he's still a pro-black person, but he's an iconoclast too, because he doesn't just go along with the herd. He says what he feels and honestly thinks, and I can respect that. Even if I don't always agree with the philosophy, I respect him for doing that. On another note, somebody came by my channel and left a comment. I wasn't going to approve it at first, but I don't want to trample on anybody's freedom of speech unless they get totally ridiculous. This comment was bordering on the ridiculous. It's basically somebody is trying to use Bakari Henderson's death. You don't know who that is. That's the African American that got beaten up outside of a bar, and he ended up being stomped to death in Greece, 2017. So that guy who left that comment wants to use that as a rallying cry for black people he thinks are sellouts and traitors to the black race to come back and serve the black community. All I have to say to anybody who thinks like that is, what are you doing for the black community? What do you do for the black community? Can you please tell me what you do for the black community other than call people names who disagree with you? What do you do for the black community? Do you do anything for the black community or anything for the community as a whole? And I got one even better. What do you do for the community as a whole? Why, and this is another thing, why isn't working an honest job giving back to the community? We get paid at our jobs because the society and the community values what we do. If they didn't value what we do, they wouldn't pay us for it. But I guess you think volunteer work, things like that, are more useful to the community. I'm not saying volunteer stuff isn't. It most certainly is. But you can criticize some of us who work for corporations for working for corporations all you want, or who work for the government, or, who basically do something that's within the system. But doesn't some of the stuff that's in the system benefit black people? I've talked about on this channel, I talked about it in the Whistle Kick interview. This is when I was first starting in IT, and my martial arts talent really came to bear in this, because that's why they picked me to go up in some of the hoods in Washington, D.C., because they knew I wouldn't be scared to go. And what I did is I helped put in the upgraded network for CVS. It was a temp job, and they sent me to all the CVS's in the hood. Now, before you say, yeah, you should have been giving back to the hood, I'm not from the hood. I wasn't from the hood. I ended up living in the hood for a while, but that's another video. I'm from the wood. I'm from the woods. I'm from Southern Maryland. where we talk like this and we say Doug and hug and rug. It's a frug and a lug, my cousin them. That's how we talk where I'm from. I'm not from the streets. I'm not from the hood. But I went there. They were supposed to assign me jobs that were based on there where I lived. They sent white guys to those stores. And those stores were in black neighborhoods. I lived, at that time, that neighborhood was lower middle class to middle class to working class, black people. I didn't go to any of those stores. They sent me to all hood stores, all up and down Georgia Avenue, up and down Pennsylvania Avenue back then, southeast, 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 northeast, northeast, northeast. So I did that. And I really think that if I didn't do that, those stores would not have gotten the CVS upgrade for a long time. And yeah, people stepped to me in some of those alleys too. Okay. Just based on that alone, I don't think anybody should be trying to call me any kind of sellout, say I act white or anything like that. But you know what? Ever since then, people did. And before then, people did. People used to call me Oreo and all this other stuff. But the Oreo was the one who went up in the hood and helped put the CVS in there when everybody else was scared to do it. So when you come over on my channel and you want to talk about these sellouts and this need to do this and that for the black community, what are you doing for the black community? I get up on Saturday mornings to teach martial arts to the black community. And did I necessarily set out to just teach martial arts to black people? No. I just followed the Bible's tenet of love thy neighbor and my neighbors are black. Bam! There you go. I give up my free time. You know, I could just be learning stuff instead of sharing. But I'll go around calling people names because I don't agree with their politics. Or I don't agree with how they conduct their personal life that has nothing to do with me. I just do what I do and I don't worry about it. So before you try to use that young man's death to try to extort other African Americans into towing your line, you need to check yourself. You really do. But, you know, I'm not going to, you know what? I've decided I'm not going to try to silence people's opinions and thoughts unless they're just too far out of hand. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to let it through so everybody can see it. And you know what? You can see one side, you can see the other, and you can make up your own darn mind. That's all I got to say in this commentary. I guess I'm shouting out. Pharaoh said what? Pharaoh said, I really like hearing from somebody who's truly been that deep into, I guess you would say, the Afrocentric community, because I never got that deep into it. I mean, he's really doing it. He does the vegan thing. He actually went to Africa, lived in Africa. I've never been outside the continental United States. So I've just been too busy working. So there you go. That's all I got to say. Peace.